Hello, my friends. Welcome back to the channel. Oh, we've had a little glitch. I've been videoing and talking and having a great time and forgot to push record. So let me just go back as quick as I can and let's see what we can do. So three announcements before we start. Number one, yes. The past few weeks, I have been forgetting to check off my little boxes. So when I'm reading through the assignment, I find things I want to do, put a little check box, go do the thing, go do the reading, go do the assignment, and then I check it off. But I've been forgetting to check it off. So yes, I just wanted to let you know I have been checking it off. Number two, I noticed these cute little journals here each week. It seems that the Come Follow Me creators have been putting little journals by the sections that they feel really lend themselves to journaling. Well, here at Solid Gold Scripture Journals, we journal everything. But, you know, if you just want to journal one thing, they have a suggestion there. Let's see, number three, last week, there was a chart, and you better believe I charted my heart out. So here it is here. Now this is a spoiler alert because this week we're doing some more charting. Before we begin, be sure to pray. That's a reminder to myself, and I did it today. I did pray just to make sure that we can have the Spirit with us and get out the things that we really need from our scriptures that day. So here is what we're studying for 1 Nephi 16 to 22 for January 29 to February 4th. I will prepare the way before you. Picture of a beautiful artist's rendition of the Liahona. I love it. Nephi's family journeyed towards the promised land. They were in the wilderness and it was very hard. You'd think going to the promised land maybe would just be great and so fun, but it was not. They had disagreements, bows broke, people struggled and died. They had to build a ship from raw materials, but they kept the commandments. And as they kept the commandments, they were able to be strengthened by the Lord, and they were able to do all the things which He commanded them. They accomplished all the things. So that's a little bit about what's happening this week. I was looking through and of course came upon 1 Nephi 19, 22 to 24 and 20 to 22. Incredible. I can liken all scriptures to myself. And this is what the scriptures are about for me as I study them. Here I am in 2024 in my room doing my things with my scriptures. I have my own problems and things in my life, and I love reading the scriptures. A different time, a different part of the world, different age, different languages, yet the things that Nephi and his family are experiencing can truly help me in my life. And so I love 1 Nephi 19, 23. It says, this is Nephi, and he is talking to his people, and he is teaching them about the scriptures. And it's so important that this is like one of my most important scriptures. So it says, "And I did read many things unto them which were written in the books of Moses, but that I might more fully persuade them to believe in the Lord their Redeemer, I did read unto them that which was written by the prophet Isaiah. For I did liken all scriptures unto us, that it might be for our profit and learning." So Nephi is likening the scriptures in the books of Moses, which is like Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. And he's also telling them the things that the prophet Isaiah said. And they're using those scriptures to liken to their day. And now I'm taking those scriptures and likening them to my day. So I think it's really great. So what I did to set up today is I wrote out 1 Nephi 19:23. I think there's value in writing out scriptures. Like once in a while, you don't need to do it every day. I know I've gone through phases where I write them out, like maybe I get some new pens or something, and it's just fun for me to write out a scripture every day. And so that's what I've done here about the liken, how we're going to liken the scriptures to our life. And now I'm going to make a chart. So I guess you didn't get to see me write this out, but don't worry. I'll be making a chart now. Let me get my ruler. I'm going to liken Nephi's journey to my life. So starting from the top, and this is like a review of what we've learned so far this year. Nephi and his family left their home in Jerusalem and were traveling in the wilderness, but they needed their scriptures. They needed the brass plates. So they had to return to Jerusalem to get those brass plates from Laban. So Lehi, the prophet, was speaking to the Lord, and he commanded Nephi to go and get those brass plates. You can check that out in 1 Nephi 3:3. Now, Nephi knew this would be a difficult journey. He didn't know how they were going to do it, but he said it was a commandment of the Lord, and he knew that if it was a commandment of the Lord would provide a way for him to accomplish this difficult thing. That, of course, is the famous 1 Nephi chapter 3, verse 7. Then once they arrived in Jerusalem, Nephi's brother asked Laban for the brass plates, but the answer was no. That's found in 1 Nephi 3:12. Then the brothers offered Laban all of their riches in exchange for the brass plates. He kept their riches, aka he stole them, but he would not give them the plates. The answer was no again. That's found in 1 Nephi 3:24-26. They were really stuck, but Nephi was led by the Spirit. He didn't know what he should do, but he went back to Laban and the plates were delivered up and they were able to get those plates. Now that was quite a story for another day. I'll tell you where that is found in one sec. Okay. So that's going to be 1 Nephi 4:6-11. We're going to turn this over here and keep working on our chart. This chart is a little longer than I had anticipated, but that's okay. So now we are in 1 Nephi 19. This is, we're not quite sure, 12 to 30 years later. And Nephi and his followers have traveled from Jerusalem through the wilderness, across the ocean, and into the promised land. And Nephi is teaching his people from these very brass plates. I think that is so cool. And one of the things he taught them was written here. He says, I did liken all scripture unto us, that it might be for our profit and learning. And once again, that is 1 Nephi and 19:23. Oops. Okay, let's go back and liken Nephi's journey to our life today. So Nephi and his family needed the scriptures when they were traveling in the wilderness. So my wilderness isn't quite as wild as that, but I do leave the comfort of my home daily and go into the world. And I feel like I need the scriptures in my heart as I go about my business. And I get those scriptures in my heart as I study them regularly. Lehi commanded Nephi to return to Jerusalem and get the brass plates from Laban. So the Lord has commanded me to read the scriptures. So I found in April 2018 General Conference, President Nelson said we need to turn to him for answers and comfort by daily feasting on the words of Christ found in the Book of Mormon. Then I like this because Lehi told his sons to return to Jerusalem, and here we are to turn to the scriptures as well. So Nephi knew that he would be able to keep this difficult commandment because if the Lord gives us a commandment, he'll provide a way. And the same is true for us. And an excellent commandment that I can keep is to read the scriptures every day. Now Laman asked Laban for the plates, and the answer was no. So sometimes I try to keep the commandments. Sometimes I try to read the scriptures, and it just doesn't work that day. Sometimes I forget. Here the brothers tried again, but they still didn't get, they still weren't able to keep the commandment and get those brass plates. So sometimes I read the scriptures, but I don't really put my heart into it. Then Nephi went back, and he was led by the Spirit to kill Laban. Whoa, that's pretty extreme. Obviously, we're not going to have to do anything like that, but he did get the scriptures. And sometimes I read the scriptures and they're life-changing, right? They go anywhere from life-changing to just really, really meaningful. 12 to 30 years later, and Nephi is using those very same plates to teach his family. So I can teach my family the things that I learned from the scriptures. So I did liken all scripture unto us, that it might be for our profit and learning. Whoops, a little spelling mistake that I noticed. I'm sure there's many more. I do feel like my scripture study is for my profit and learning. I've learned so much over the years, and it's really helped me. And there we have it. A simple, fun way to liken the scriptures. Take the scripture story and then think about how that pertains to your life. And here I can see how grateful Nephi is for all the things he has learned from the scriptures. And I feel that way too. I am so grateful for the things I have learned in the scriptures. And like Nephi, I am so grateful to have them. So this is what I have learned today in my scripture study. And I hope that as you study your scriptures, you will be able to find the things that you need. And I will see you next time. Bye.